My father, he thinks I'm insane.
From the writers of Lost and the creators of Once Upon a Time.
You claimed you traveled to this place, Wonderland. You fell in love with the genie.
I'm gonna find him.
She's not the Alice you thought you knew.
I sense that you can take care of yourself.
Thursday, the search for her lost love begins.
All right, Rabbit, dig your hole.
Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. Series premiere Thursday at 8, 7 Central. Followed by an all-new Grey's Anatomy and Scandal on ABC.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Castle Aftershow. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Castle Aftershow.
Hello, everyone. We are back. It's episode 3. We are so excited. We have our hosts with us again. We have Tiona here, and we have a special guest for this Need to Know episode. So, yes, we have Antonio Sabato Jr. here. And
Yay!
You will recognize him from this episode. Great episode. Great role. I mean, granted, you did murder someone, but...
Someone was a naughty boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you never saw it.
No, which I'm glad. We never really do, actually, on Castle. You never see the murder.
No,
but
that's what's so cool about it.
yeah, it's nice. It's all ominous. You just have to go in for the kill.
You just
and
have to
find the guy.
listen really carefully to
Yeah.
everything they say.
I have to say, I don't know about you. I didn't think it was you. I gave you the benefit of the doubt.
I did too.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the last moments when I was like, you know what? It's not going to be the producer. It's going to be...
You knew I was coming. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to be nice to this guy. Yeah.
But that's the problem with Castle. They have you confused the whole time. It's always a different person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no set formula because some shows it's always, like the first person you see at the crime scene who it ends up being the killer. But Castle, they change it up so often it's hard to pick up on who's.
That's what's so cool because every other show they show you what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They show you the killing, everything how it's done. This one you have to just kind of figure it out.
Which I think people like, especially I like it at least about Castle, is that I think that's what keeps it upbeat and light and funny to us and not super depressing like maybe some other shows about murder might be.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know about...
It's intriguing, you want to follow the story. Yeah, it's really nice.
It's more about the characters and less about the murder itself.
Well, that's how it used to be. I grew up watching Columbo. Remember that show? That was so awesome.
I don't think I watched it.
You never watched it?
No, I've never.
Well, you should check it out because
I'm sure
that's
it's on
very
Netflix.
close. Yeah, that was just one of my favorite shows growing up. And in Italy, they showed that show over and over again. And Columbo
Really?
was one of those shows that he would show up and just describe how it could happen, give you different ideas. And then by the end of it, he would tell you the right one. Just like this.
Yeah, that's a lot like Castle because Castle just brainstorms. Granted, a lot of the times it involves aliens and like time travel and things. So they're not always,
Right.
things
Well,
that
he's a
would
writer,
happen.
He's
He's got a big imagination.
He does. But we'll jump right into this episode. It's all about, well, first off, Pi is still here. Pi, the boyfriend, he's not leaving.
That poor kid.
I know.
Castle just keeps giving him a hard time, but he's trying. He's there.
Trying, but you're living in Castle's home, his $1 million penthouse in New York.
He's not living too bad.
Yeah. I mean, I would do anything to have
At
a
least
house
he was
like that.
offering to make smoothies for everyone in the morning. He's cooking. It might not be what you want.
Right.
He's the greatest guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's just like the greatest boyfriend. He just does things right.
And
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
And he's cute.
Grandma
He's
loves
cute.
him, and she's making his anti-aging. Hey, seems like a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And he's really good. Nathan is a really good guy. So on top of it, to be working with him, and your character's good, and you're good too, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, everybody loves him. I mean, I think that's half the reason people love Castle is because you tune in
Right.
for Castle. He's funny. I'm sure working on the set, you have, first-hand
Canadians are
knowledge.
nice. They're nice people.
Canadians are nice.
They're too nice. They're nice. They're the nicest people in the world. Let me tell you.
Why can't everybody come from Canada?
Yeah. Well,
Right?
they all are.
Yeah, everyone on television is
Except
from Canada.
me and some British guys, some Australian guys. They're all Canadian.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Stana, though, she's not Canadian. She seems like a sweetheart, though.
It makes two of us.
Yeah,
See,
there
were
was two of you.
us.
There was the
of
two
us.
of you on the show.
No, they're great guys. They're great people.
But so we'll start off with the death. Charlie is killed. He's hanging from a hook, which happens from being pushed off of a building.
Right.
How convenient that hook was just there to catch his body.
Right.
But yeah, so we're getting introduced to new people. Gates is back. We have Sully, Detective Sully, who we haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's cute. I think we should keep him. But
It's a cute show, isn't it?
Yeah.
You feel that way, right?
yeah, you can't help but love all of them. And I
Yeah.
was lucky enough to do the red carpet at the Paley Center last week with the cast of Castle, and they're all so nice. I just feel like there must be a real camaraderie on set. Does it feel like a little family with all of them?
It is. It's a really good family, and they come from different backgrounds, and they just love working together. And they've been around for so long; they know each other, and they just welcomed me in there, and it was just fun from the beginning, all the way through.
What's it like though, coming onto a show like that, knowing you're going to be the murderer, but it's season 6. This is it's a big season. There's a lot of changes going on. Did you have a specific?
That was great. I mean, I saw a lot of people I haven't seen in a while. Also, the crew, a lot of members of the crew I didn't see in a while, so it was fun to be hanging around. It's a fun show. Everybody loves going to work. It's like, we're happy to be here. We're happy to be on Castle. This is awesome. Let's do it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes off like that, even on screen, that they're having a good time. So we're going into the death. This is kind of a Saved by the Bell theme episode we were talking about. And you were playing the jock.
Yeah.
And I loved how you come out looking like Mario Lopez.
With the curly hair and everything.
But that's how they used to do it, man. It's like we had to wear those clothes. I'm like, but the fact is, we used to wear that.
Yeah.
Well, not me, but.
Oh, he's
yeah,
like,
definitely
no,
not
me.
I was immune to that.
We, general, we used to wear that all over the place.
I'm sure we'll never find any photos of you leaking online.
No, I did. I used to wear those jackets. Remember Miami Vice? I used to pull it all the way
up.
Yeah, okay.
I'm actually
You got a little bit of that Miami
right
Vice flair going on tonight, Paige.
The shoulder pads, they were like this big.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah.
I liked that, though. I think that's a good draw for this episode, is that, I mean, you're like, oh, it's Saved by the Bell. It's Screech. It's, you feel like, but it felt like you were watching Screech die a little bit on this show. It's like, there goes Screech.
It did kind of feel like that, but I felt like it was a mixture kind of Screech and Family Matters Urkel. It was kind of a mixture of both of those characters, the suspenders and stuff. So it's like, yes, 80s sitcoms, 80s, 90s.
I mean, yeah, it'd be great if Saved by the Bell came back. But so Too Cool for School was the name of the episode
Too
or the
Too
show.
Cool for School,
Yeah. Did you watch Saved by the Bell to get in that zone before?
Well, during that time is when I moved to this country. It was in the 80s. Was it late 80s or something? So I knew about it. I never really watched the show, but doing this episode, we kind of had to see some episodes and be reminded. And what we were wearing, those clothes, it was like, wow, man.
Well, it looked like an old
pretty
episode.
high up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were those colors, the bright yellows and the greens and all that stuff. And
does that look good on anyone?
I don't know. It's like weird, But then the hair, it's just, everything was just big.
So funny. I mean, it was funny to see because I feel like we're like, oh, they had a Saved by the Bell too, and Detective Ryan is so into it, and because there are people now who are still such avid fans of Saved by the Bell,
and that's a lot of the draw for this episode too. I'm sure they pulled a lot of younger viewers in doing the whole Saved by the Bell thing because there's sort of a resurgence of that show right now, and a big advocate for a reunion movie or something.
Yeah, maybe this will spark it.
Yeah,
maybe you guys will,
this will be the starting point.
Yeah.
So I want to play the character. They have to pull him
yeah.
out.
You
But
might
he's in prison for life.
Yeah, he's
right?
done.
he's
gone. I know. I love how Castle at one point in this episode says, "We're gonna need to talk to you for a minute or a few months
or a decade."
or days. Yeah, when he comes to your acting class, that was hysterical.
I have a story about the show. Kind of. It's not the happiest story, but it just happened, and everybody knows on set what happened. But we were shooting that scene that you were talking about downtown LA, and this show is about my character throwing somebody off a building. So we get to the set that day, and across the street from where we were working, a guy jumped off a building for real.
That's crazy.
So when we got there, I see massive police and fire department. And I'm thinking, you guys have it hooked up, and you guys have a lot of money. There's a lot of people here.
Yeah.
And then I found out that they were actually pulling a guy off the street who jumped 2 stories from a building.
That's crazy.
And so we got there, and I was like, what is this? What is this for real? I'm like, I'm playing the guy who's going to do this for real. And I get here, and there's police here getting this guy to the morgue. And I mean, those things never happened. We were just, me and Nathan, the rest of the cast, we were just like, we speechless.
That is crazy.
That really happened. Amazing. I don't know.
That is
I don't
crazy.
know what was happening.
I don't know how you felt.
I was ready for the role, man. I was like, okay, now this is real stuff. This is like, this is a Stella Adler thing. And this is like, really, I'm getting in there now.
Right, yeah. I mean,
really happened.
You saw it, now you acted.
Yeah, it was right there in front of us. The whole crew and everybody just was staring across the street, and that dude just jumped off a building for real.
So sad and crazy.
Very sad. Yeah, I don't want to bring everybody down, but it's a good story to talk about because this story, it could have been an accident, it could have been a car or whatever. No, a guy just jumped off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you guys still shot that day?
Yeah, we had to.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, budget, time.
Yeah, they're not going to stop for that, but I thought it was a joke at first. Yeah, you guys are talking about the show. No, right there.
But that's crazy that it's the same, the script is about a guy who was pushed off the top of a building.
Yeah, I don't know. Some things happen. But,
it's very strange.
And to do that scene afterwards, thinking about, well, I'm doing this and I'm supposed to do, okay, but that really happened. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it gets you in the mindset real fast.
Real fast. Right.
I was like,
I am there. I can
came home and told
this.
my wife, I'm like, this happened today, honey. It's on the news. I'm like, okay, well, it's kind of scary.
So you didn't even have to prepare. You were.
No, I was right
in
there.
the situation.
Yeah, kind of came natural, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not. But the thing is, that is such a sad and scary thing. But on Castle, it's like. Castle's there, he's trying to get in, he's like watching it on live TV and runs down to the crime scene. They make it seem so like nonchalant and oh, here's a dead man on the street and a jogger found him and
well, the fans were there and they didn't care about what happened across the street. They were just like, hey, Nathan right here. There's your like they were all there waiting. They just know exactly where Castle's cast go and they just wait.
Oh wow.
That's how big this show is. They didn't care what happened.
Yeah, I mean the fan base for this show is insane.
Oh, I found out in the last week since we've been promoting the show, and it's like, this show is huge.
Yeah, I'm sure you're getting a lot of tweets.
A lot of tweets. A lot of tweets.
Okay.
All my neighbors seem to remember that. Oh, he lives right next to me now. Okay, that's the guy.
I think, but with Castle, it's just there's such a wide age range of viewers. I mean, everywhere. I watch it. My dad watches it. My grandfather watches it. We all love Castle, so we can all relate. To Castles. Yeah, I like it.
I think that's a lot to do with Nathan and his just appeal to everyone because even outside of Castle, he just seems like such a fun person to be around. And I know you guys are friends, so
we're friends. Yeah,
do you have a favorite Nathan story you can share with us?
Well, he's just a class act, and he gave me a present. He gave me a set of speakers for my iPhone, and I mean, just little things like that are just classy, and just it doesn't happen anymore in Hollywood. And just to show up on set, I'm like, not only I want to work with you, I want to give you a present for being on my show, and I've been wanting to meet you for a long time, and we have a lot of people in common. I'm glad you're here. I'm like, dude,
yeah, that's so nice.
You're Canadian. That's it.
This is something a Canadian would do.
Yeah.
No, it was just so cool. It was like it starts from the way up, and everybody just kind of follows, and it was just really comfortable and cool. And every day was just awesome.
That's a great way to get off on the right foot shooting an episode.
The first day, I was like, wow, I want to work with you again.
Oh wow! Well, hopefully you get to work with him again.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't
know if you can come back to Castle now that you're a murderer, but. Who knows? Maybe he jailbreaks.
They might need my expertise.
You jailbreak.
Maybe he has more information for the CIA.
Yeah, right.
Work out a deal to get
out
for
the
early.
80s and early 90s.
But that's the whole thing about this episode is like we don't understand. We think it's a quarrel between friends, which it does end up being a quarrel between two friends.
Right.
But there's the CIA, there's guns, there's a Russian mob. I mean, this whole episode.
And relationships, and they're getting together, moving in together, and all that stuff. So it's kind of everything.
Yeah, and I was very shocked to know that your character pushed him. I got why he was mad. I get why he's mad. I just didn't get, like, playing him, where was your motive? Because pushing him off a building is the same thing as him leaving the show.
Right.
He accomplished
he was a frustrated man. I mean, he was a frustrated man.
Yeah, he was angry.
He was angry. He was angry at the world, and things didn't turn out the way he wanted it to be. And yeah, it was just so complex in a way, and at the same time, a lot of fun to play. And I had a great time.
He seemed to have a sense of humor, though. Well, maybe not a sense of humor, maybe an ego.
His ego is big.
His ego was. To me, it was funny. That's why I say sense of humor. But he had this huge ego. He thinks the cops are there for his autograph.
Well, he was teaching a class, and if you could see in the audience, I mean, there was like maybe 5 people.
Yeah.
So that was his class. So I mean, you know what I mean. So he went through a lot of stuff of being on top and not making the right decisions, and all of a sudden having a chance to come back, and it's kind of scary. You know, a lot of actors are going, would I do that? You know.
Yeah, I mean that is. I
hope they wouldn't murder. But
no, I hope they wouldn't murder.
But Hollywood is a funny place.
Tough place.
It's a tough place.
And when you get that second shot, I feel like, you know, especially for your character, he really had to make this one count because he might not get another.
But little did he know it was all about gun smuggling and less about his movies. So.
Right.
So in the long run, it might not have worked out anyway.
It would have worked out anyway.
But it did get me thinking a little bit about child actors or even some of the Saved by the Bell characters. You know, after that show ends,
tough
where do you go from there? You know,
well, it's called show business for a reason. You know, you just got to be smart in both angles. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. All his money was gone. I wanted to be like, you should have a financial advisor.
Yeah, he didn't have much help.
Yeah,
he didn't make the right decisions. Yeah.
No, but
tried.
It didn't seem like his. You know, he had a nice girlfriend who was willing to lie to the police for him. I mean,
for a little bit.
For about a day. For about a day.
These guys are good. They're like, okay, all right, tell us the truth.
Yeah, but you came on for a great episode for Castle fans because we have the gang at the Precinct. You know, we've got the boys in New York. We've got the girls coming from D.C. We have the CIA. You brought in a lot of police force on this episode.
Well, that's what I do, man.
Yeah.
That's what Italians do. They bring the whole shebang. They bring everybody, okay?
Yeah, you should see Thanksgiving, Christmas, Italian families.
Just wait till the next show. I'll bring everybody out. Let's go.
But for real, I mean, I was happy to see Beckett back at the Precinct.
I was too.
You could see she wanted to be there. You could see she wanted to not be with the.
She wanted to give them information, but she was under the gag order, and she's just not allowed, and that was really hard for her to not be able to help her friends because she's been in their shoes where she's been blocked out from cases. And she knows what that feels like.
Well, we got a preview of it last week where, you know, she finds out it's not all black and white. There's gray area in working for the attorneys general at the Capitol. And this episode more, you know, it's called Need to Know. So granted, it's about you're the murderer. So technically it wasn't very need to know basis because you had no idea about the Russian mob. But, you know.
Need to know about a lot of things.
Need to know about a lot of things. And they're not allowed to know. And that she doesn't even know the whole thing.
No.
And that's so.
She needed to know too. Yeah. Every character needed to know something.
And none of them knew anything.
It's like, oh, sorry, that's need to know, but actually we know just as much.
It's really not knowing anything. That's the name of the show.
We know nothing. So we know nothing. But what we do know is, if you're a fan of ABC shows, then you need to check out this Thursday. I know I told you guys last week, but we're very excited about it. This Thursday, October 10th at 8 p.m. 7 Central. Once Upon a Time, they have a new show, Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, and this one focuses on Alice. So we all know the typical story of Alice in Wonderland, but this is not your typical story. She's different. It's love at first sight, and she is in love with the genie from Aladdin, and he is, you know, she's chasing after him. She's fighting for her one true love. Her father thinks she's crazy. Her doctor thinks she's crazy. Everyone thinks she's crazy, but she is fighting to get him back, and he has been captured by Jafar. So this is a crazy show. If you love fairy tales, if you love Once Upon a Time and other ABC shows, then you need to check it out. It's on Thursday, October 10th, 8, 7 Central, and it's this week. So set your DVRs, make sure you tune in, and honestly, it looks pretty crazy. And
it looks pretty cool.
It's not what you're expecting.
Yeah.
Those are the best shows.
Yeah, it's like Castle. You don't know what's happening around the next bend.
Yeah, because, I mean, Once Upon a Time already does a great job of their interpretation of the fairy tales. And I will say, I will be on the panel for Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. We're doing it Friday nights at 7:30, so make sure you tune in.
Yeah, so, you know, check out the show, check out the after show, and make sure, if you really love this show and our special guest tonight, you can watch this as many times as you want to.
Over and over again.
Because this episode, I really liked this episode.
This episode was fun.
Yeah, it was just fun because the first two episodes were really intense, and this one's like, oh, it's Castle. I love Castle.
He's back with the boys at the Precinct.
At the Precinct. And Sully, the new guy, is a total
That's
pig.
A total slob.
That's
oh my
what
gosh.
we do at Castle.
Yeah.
We bring it all together, you see?
You do. Seriously. I mean, this episode really brought me back. The first two episodes drew me in, but this brought me back being like, we're watching Castle.
Yeah.
This is Castle.
You. See, that's what we do. See, we wait for the third one to really hit you.
Yeah, third time's a charm for this, you know?
Yeah.
And you were on it. Your
I was
lovely
on it.
smile.
I had a great time. Yeah, I can't complain, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, your character wasn't the nicest guy, but, you know.
Those are the best ones. Those are the best ones. The too nice are too nice, but a character like this is complex, and you could have so much fun. I have fun playing.
Well, you feel for him too. I mean, I felt for him. I was kind of I was
Be careful now.
Well, I was hoping it wasn't.
He enjoys that kind of stuff.
I was hoping you weren't the murderer. I didn't want old friends to be in that place after having such success and then a low period. I kind of wanted, you to be able to get off and, have success.
And especially his speech, when he's being interrogated, that big speech at the end, about, once the checks stop coming and the people disappear. You feel sorry because there's so many child stars today who haven't been able to deal with that and have resulted to other things such as suicide it's a lot. So it just really hit home because there's been so many examples recently of people not being able to handle that.
Oh my goodness, it goes from all over the place.
Yeah, that's the other thing about Castle, and I'm sure you felt that working on it, was that they take things that are happening in real life and really bring it to the forefront. Yeah, the murder, not so much. I've never seen a man hanging from a hook, but I hope I never see a man hanging from a hook. And even with the Russian mob, most people can't relate to that, but the actual reason for the murder, we can all kind of understand.
Well, a killer is always justifying what he's doing, so this guy definitely did the right thing in his own mind, Yeah.
They always do on Castle. You always want to like him and be like, oh, but he really was
but he
upset.
pushed a guy off a building, okay? He didn't just said push. He's gone.
I know. Yeah. So. And he was gonna give you a free apartment in New York.
Like a really nice place.
No charity for
pity,
you.
No.
So funny, but so this whole episode, there wasn't too much delving into. They looked into a couple of people, but the leads really was the chicken poop and the gun. But it all came back to you at the end, and luckily so, because you are kind of the catalyst for what we've all been waiting for here at Castle, is the fact that I think Beckett's coming home to New York.
Yeah. It looks that way, doesn't it?
It looks that way because she didn't like how you. Well, first off, she didn't like how you almost got off with murder.
Right.
Yes.
Because they didn't want to get the Russians involved and lose their cover.
Right.
But she didn't like how they were going to put this poor Russian girl, out there to be killed by her family, and so Beckett jumps in there and does the right thing.
Which was costly.
Which is going to cost something, right?
Well, it cost her job. Right. McCord shows up at the house, though,
but they got picked up for another season, so she's going to be okay.
She'll be fine.
Maybe she'll be a stay-at-home wife for a little while.
Maybe she'll become a writer. Maybe
they'll co-write the next book.
Yeah.
Oh. No, I don't think she's got the time for that. She's too focused.
But she doesn't have a job.
I think, Gates said to her, don't be a stranger, come visit whenever. So I think her job is there for her, especially where
how do you know?
I just have a feeling.
Well, you want me to call Nathan right now?
Yeah, we need to know.
Nathan on the phone.
It's a need to know thing.
Thing.
It's a need to know.
He's sleeping. He just finished work.
Long hours.
I'm assuming you're a fan of the show Castle. You seem to be. Do you like Beckett and Castle together?
I do, but I also like some conflict. I like the fight. I like the challenge, all that stuff. Yeah, it has to come in all the time.
Yeah, and it will, I'm sure. The conflict from the get-go was the fact that they're having this long-distance relationship, but that seems to be coming to an end, so... Maybe. So there has to be something else.
They got a set of writers that are really, genius.
They really are.
They already figured out, 5 years down the road.
I know.
Yeah.
So they're just working their way back.
But I like that when a show, has longevity like this, where we're on season 6, they know they have a great fan base. I feel like it gives you the opportunity to
they got to work extra hard because these fans are like, oh, you got to give me something.
Yeah. But for us fans, we get more out of a show like this.
And they always keep us on our toes because wherever we think this is going, Beckett's fired now, so we're assuming she's coming back to New York.
But she might not.
But he just bought a place in DC or rented a place at least.
Well, he's a multi-millionaire. Yeah, I'm sure he can take the hit.
It's hey, I don't know, maybe they'll just go vacation for a while. He can write from anywhere. You really don't know where they're gonna take.
Maybe she's gonna stay home with him and get on his nerves, and all of a sudden he can't write anymore, and he has a block. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe her and Pi are gonna sit around.
Spoiler alert!
Okay, he ruined the show. They're gonna.
Oh, there you go.
So funny. This episode, it wrapped up in a nice way, leaving us on our toes as always, wondering what's going to happen next week.
Right.
But, we were very excited to see you on this show. And
thank you.
Is there anything that you want to tell us other than you gave us a great story already about working behind the scenes with Castle or anything you're doing on your own outside of Castle? Because we saw you on Baby Daddy this summer. Yeah. I am a big fan of that show as well. So when I found out you were going to be on tonight's episode, I was like, oh.
I'm just having a great time just looking to do good stuff like Castle and Baby Daddy and stuff like that and CSIs and stuff like that. I love working on shows and keep doing it.
Yeah.
Very keep doing better and better stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, this was great. I really liked it. Yeah. So I'll probably watch it again on my DVR.
So we'll come back next time and we'll talk about the next one.
Yeah, I kind of hope that you come back
next
again.
Murder. Hopefully I'll be a good guy next time.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I'm sure.
Just put some makeup on you and make you
look
different.
Different character.
Yeah,
come back
all
as someone new. Maybe you'll be a cop this time, so you're on the right side.
Yeah.
How fun is that? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a corrupt cop.
Who knows? I mean,
could come. Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
In this business, endless. You never know.
Well, we will keep our eye out for you.
Thank
Definitely
you.
on other shows, and we'd love to have you back here on
I'd love to come
AfterBuzz.
back.
Yes.
But before we, we can predict your future, but we're gonna predict a little bit about Castle and next episode.
Okay.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay. Do you have any? Being on the show, knowing where we left off.
Well, I think in the future we have probably a marriage. You probably have kids involved at some point. I think there's something like that happening. That's what I think eventually.
I would hope.
Yeah.
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 I don't have any serious predictions. I do predict that Kate is coming back to the New York precinct, and I think Sully's going to stick around. Granted, he's kind of weird and goofy and a mess, but I think he might be a new member of the team because they seem to like him, and Kate even seems to like him.
The boys like to boss him around. You know, Kate was always kind of bossing them around.
Technically, and she never had a partner because Castle doesn't count. He doesn't even have a gun or a badge. Or
he can't back her up.
He wants to carry a gun, but they won't let him.
His vest says a writer.
Right.
I'm a writer.
I'm a writer. Don't shoot.
Don't shoot.
Don't shoot.
My prediction is that Kate comes back to New York. She doesn't get rehired right away in New York, so she's kind of at home getting antsy, and then her and Pie hit it off really well, and that bugs Castle because he wants Pie gone. So I think her and
maybe
Pie
he makes her some like skin smoothies or hair smoothies.
Yeah, so she gets all like, oh yeah, I'm a free spirit. I'm all yoga-y now, and
she's gonna make cantaloupe. What was it, like cantaloupe pasta or something like that? Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see, but we'll be back next week. As always, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Can you let everybody know, do you have a Twitter or anywhere they can find you?
At Antonio Sabato Jr.
Okay, so guys, make sure you go follow him to see what he's working on next and tweet him about the show tonight because we loved it. I'm sure you did as well. Yes. I'm Paige Sullivan. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Paige Sull.
And I'm Tiona Hobson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Tiona Hobson.
So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining us, Antonio, and we will see you guys next time.
Awesome.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.